Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the haul. July's haul, of course. I'm going to bring forth some brand new fragrances. I'm going to share with you my first impressions. You know how this works. Brand new fragrances in their packages. I'm going to unbox them on camera and give you guys my first thoughts and impressions. Let you guys know exactly how I feel about them, if they're worth your time and money. So without any further ado, stick around. They're up next. Welcome back to another video. 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏 here. You guys already know to smell great is a great way to make a long and lasting impression. A great first impression at that. Of course, I'm going to share with you 6 fragrances here, brand new. We've got 2 from Lacoste, 1 from Dolce & Gabbana, 1 from Laroche, 1 from Armani, 1 from Montblanc, and these are all designer fragrances. Of course, I might come back with a second haul talking about niche. Otherwise, I'll leave them for, August haul. We have a lot of fragrances to go over. I go through dozens of fragrances every month, and of course, every month you also get, in the beginning of the month, the best discoveries of that last month, the previous month. And of course, at the end of the year, you get the best discoveries and the best releases of 2025. So let's get cracking here. We're going to talk about one that's kind of near and dear to me. We're going to open this haul with Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue 2025 edition. Here's the original one from a few years back, Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue. This is actually a vintage bottle from the year it was released. This is a 2007 release. Very aromatic, almost aquatic, ozonic, that type of a DNA that we're very familiar with, that blue, ozonic, aquatic type of a DNA. Slightly sweet, slightly fruity, tons of fruits here, citrus fruits, of course, something like grapefruit, clambering lemons, that kind of stuff, Mediterranean Riviera kind of a front. Great stuff. Fast forward to 2025, we have another re-release of this fragrance, this is something that's very common to brands these days, to do a quote-unquote re-release, which is kind of like restructuring their fragrances to be more in line with the times, more trendy, more perhaps modern twist on these classic fragrances, which are now becoming, behind me you have a Dolce & Gabbana Pour Homme right there from 1994, which happens to be my favorite Dolce & Gabbana ever made. But of course, the light blue is going to be a lighter, more summery, fresher kind of a take on a fragrance. The Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue DNA has been reformulated a few times, just like the Pour Homme. But now, with Dolce & Gabbana releases, from their signature line, they're changing the caps to this more cylindric kind of a cap. It's not magnetic, but it is of the cylindric kind. It clicks into place. You can't hold it from the top. The bottle won't fall. This is a frosty bottle. We all know with frosty fragrances, for the most part, they're going to be in the Acqua di Gio kind of a family and range, which happens to be those aquatic, fresh, ozonic, blue, marine type scents. Amazing sprayer, Beast here sprayer. And this smell is going to be very close to the original. I would say a little less ozonic, more aromatic. I get thyme, rosemary, lavender. There's a lot of, aromatic type fragrances. It is going to be more on the classic, traditional, vintagey, I wouldn't say old man, but traditional man kind of a style. Not very modern, to be honest with you. I would think that they would make this sweeter. Longevity seems like it's going to be in line with the average longevity here. 6 to 8 hours for citrus aromatic. That's what you normally get. I do think it's going to perform well. And I also think this is perfect for spring and summer or as a signature scent. It's pretty good. There's nothing really new here or groundbreaking. It's more of the same. It smells very similar to the original here from 2007 that I love. I would say 95% very, very similar to it. The only thing is slightly different here is going to be the sweetness. They have amped up. I get almost like a minty, sweeter kind of a vibe with the new 2025, which can be for some people an improvement. But that's all for now. I have to get it on skin, wear it more, or wear it at all. I haven't worn it at all. This is a first impression video. Just get some wearings to kind of get a full feel. But I'd say 95%, similar to the OG. Next up, we're going to do a back-to-back Lacoste here. We're going to talk about the Lacoste L1212 Silver Gray, brand new, just dropped. And I'm going to talk about another iteration of the original Lacoste original from 1984. Last year, I shared with you the original Eau de Parfum. 40 years afterwards, they gave us this last year, which was in my top 12 best releases of 2024. Of course, a new iteration comes to play here, which is going to be the original, but the Parfum. Last year was an Eau de Parfum. This is going to be a Parfum. Who knows? They might do an Eau de Toilette or an Elixir. That is the order of things, or an Intense. Who the hell knows? But let's crack open the L1212 Silver Gray first, so I can give you my first take on it. Of course, the packaging here for the L1212 is going to be very similar to all the L12s. The only difference here is going to be very silver, mostly a silver. gray kind of appointments. Of course, the scent itself is also named silver gray, so you're gonna get a silver gray packaging and bottle. Nothing really crazy here. You've seen one, you've seen them all. The only thing here is this texture here, you know, this ribbed kind of a texture at the front of the bottle, which is kind of like a polo shirt itself. And you do have the little gator here on the bottle, just like the same texture that you get on the shirts. So let's take it for a test drive. Really nice sprayers. And the smell is actually quite nice. It's going to be a citrus aromatic with a quite sweet and sharp kind of an undertone. The sharpness that I'm getting here is very green, almost piney, you know, coniferous, but it's quite sweet. Also, you have some tonka beans. There is some sweetness and fruitiness going on here. This is nice. It's not quite playful. It's a little playful. There's some sweetness here, but it's rather a mature kind of a scent. It's a more aromatic, lavender, piney kind of a vibe. I like this a lot. In fact, you know, I'm not a huge fan of the L1212 line, but this one here really captures my attention with this coniferous, sharp, green, aromatic kind of an opening that it's giving me right now. The fruitiness that you get here is mostly from a tangerine fruit that's really prominent, but then it quickly goes away, making room for this woody vetiver smoky accord that's quite prevalent here. And you do have an ambroxan feel that's very woody, creamy, and inviting. But the vetiver is also very prominent here with that smoky, earthy kind of a facet. This is a good one. It's very vetiver forward. So if you do enjoy the note of vetiver, you're gonna like this one. Performance is good, and this is another one that could be potentially just a signature scent, something to wear every day, office safe, friendly, easy to wear, all seasons, versatility, checks a lot of boxes here, but it is more on the mature lavender, vetiver, almost barbershop-y kind of a feel. Now last year I talked about the Lacoste original Eau de Parfum after 40 years of the original, which is a very fougere, green, barbershop, you know, aromatic type scent. Last year's still carried that barbershop feel, but added this tropical, coconut, creamy, sandalwood and tonka vanilla kind of undertone, which made it quite sweet. I liked it. You know, it made my top 12 favorite releases of the year. And of course, this year they're bringing forth a new iteration, which is the Lacoste original, but Parfum. Last year was Eau de Parfum. Now we have a Parfum. The original from 40 years ago was an Eau de Toilette. Who knows, next year we might get an elixir. I mean, that is the natural order of things. We shall see. The box here very similar to last year. Green edges, Lacoste original, Parfum is the concentration. When you compare the bottles here from last year and this year, it's pretty much cookie cutter, the same thing, same gator in the back, exactly the same. This one is a little bit darker here. The silver is a little darker, more like a gun metal as opposed to the shiny silver from the one from last year. And even the edges here are a little bit darker, but the bottle is very similar, and you have the Parfum concentration at the front as opposed to Eau de Parfum. What I'm interested here is the scent profile to see if they change that at all. So let's, beautiful sprayer, very nice. And okay, this one here became quite modern, youthful and playful, very sweet here, retaining a little bit of that sweet green lavender, but going more into a blue, aromatic, sweet, amber, vanilla, tonka bean, you know, that trifecta that's very common these days, very safe. Wouldn't say boring, it is nice. But this one here goes borderline into a gourmand kind of a feel. It's quite sweet. I'm getting almost like a caramel undertone. There is that beautiful lavender here, which has this aromatic green, woody, spicy kind of a scent profile. But there is rather a very sweet undertone that's coming through. And that sweetness, I think it's going to get even sweeter. I would not rock this for a signature scent all year round, although you could. I think this here leans more to the fall and winter times. I think it's going to be quite nice in performance. It's giving me almost like a powdery vibe here. Perhaps there's sandalwood, it's creamy, it's powdery, it's sweet, borderline gourmand, like I said. Smells good, but it's going to get a pass for me because it's more of the same of that sweet type of vanilla, amber, and tonka beans, ambroxan kind of a vibe. It smells good, but I guarantee you're going to have something in your collection that's going to be very similar to this. So all in all, this is going to be a redundant pass for me in this particular haul, to be quite honest with you. Next up, we got a new one from the house of Drakkar Noir / Guy Laroche. This is Drakkar Bleu, which is their newer iteration. Of course, I'm a huge fan of this line. I don't have the original from 1972, which is that, you know, original barbershop fougere. I do have a vintage bottle of the original Drakkar Noir from 1981 or 2, if I'm not mistaken, which I love. It's a green aromatic fougere. lavender, oak moss, vetiver, you know, some spices up top. And then a few years ago, they gave us the Drakkar Intense, which I absolutely love as well, which is a very nice, woody, spicy, leathery, almost tobacco-y kind of a fragrance, very smoky as well. A few years back, they had one called Horizon. I don't know if you guys knew about this one, but I love this stuff. This is going to be a woody aromatic again with a little bit of a mineral slash ozonic kind of a feel from back in the day. I think this was released either late 80s, early 90s, but I think 93 if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, this is a great one, Horizon. If you can get a bottle, definitely pick it up. But today we're going to talk about the brand new 2025 Laroche Drakkar Bleu, which I'm thinking is going to be, you know, close to that blue aromatic, ozonic kind of a feel that you get with Bleu de Chanel and a ton of other blue fragrances in the market today. The box here, nothing special. It's, you know, just a black common box with some blue and silver appointments. The bottle, I'm sure it's going to look very much similar to the Drakkar Intense from a few years back, and it's going to be exactly that. Transparent with the blue juice, very cheap plastic cap. But you know, a lot of times, you know, with Laroche, they skimp on the packaging, but they deliver a punch with the juices. So that's what I'm hoping with Drakkar Bleu. Let's take it for a test drive. Really nice spray, quite nice and wide, not really long, but nice and powerful. All right. Drakkar Bleu is really nice, guys. It opens up minty, fresh, very herbal. You get a thyme, rosemary, lavender, quite herbal, quite green. The blue here is definitely present. It's giving me like this ocean mist slash ocean breeze type of a situation here. A little bit salty, definitely sweet, salty, aromatic, herbal, and definitely minty. I like this a lot. I think it's quite good for the price. This is going to be one of those that's going to be hitting discounters very, very strong with a very cheap price tag. And I think you're going to get a lot of value here for what you get with the scent itself. I don't know about performance, but usually with Drakkar Noir fragrances, I get 7 to 8 hours on average. I do spray my clothes. That gives me 10, you know, 9 to 10 on average. So this is good. I really enjoy the aromatic herbal facets along with that beautiful bright minty up top. Gets a thumbs up. Really good one so far. My favorite from this haul thus far. A couple things to note here. There is a green apple that's quite sharp and fruity up top. So if you do like Granny Smith, that kind of a scent profile, you're gonna love the apple here. It's really nice, very, you know, sharp citrus along with that mint. It makes quite a beautiful introduction for the scent. And in the base, you get a patchouli, an oak moss, and a fir note that adds this coniferous, you know, pine cone kind of a vibe that I'm a big fan of. So again, gets a thumbs up, definitely worth checking out, and especially if you can get this for a cheap price, even better. All right, back in 2018, Montblanc gave us Montblanc Explorer, which was quite controversial. I did a full review on this fragrance for you guys as soon as it dropped, because this is going to be, you know, the Montblanc Explorer from 2018, a dupe or an inspired expression of Creed Aventus. It's very similar to Aventus. It takes away some of the smokiness, makes it brighter, sweeter, and fruitier with a beautiful bergamot up top, but it's quite similar to, you know, Creed Aventus. Now we're going to talk about the newest fragrance, 2025 Explorer Extreme. Very curious about this one. There were a few Explorer flankers over the years, but nothing really that, I think there was a Platinum last year that I quite liked, which is like a spicier, you know, version of Santal 33 kind of the fragrance. There was a blue one a few years back that I was not a big fan of, just very generic. This is going to be the Extreme, you know, 2025 release, you know, black box with gold appointments. Very curious about this one. The notes look good. Don't know what this is going to smell like. Perhaps, you know, similar to something else, inspired by something else, a twist on another popular fragrance. We shall see. The bottle itself, very cool looking. I love this bottle. Rather chic and very elegant in comparison to the 2018, which is nice as well, really beautiful. But this one here with the dark edges, with the leatherette feel here in the middle, the Montblanc logo, it is quite nice. So let's take this for a test drive. I am dying to try this one. I do enjoy this line. I think Montblanc does a good job with their fragrances. This is more of like an entry level, amazing blast here. Spray is very powerful. But as I was saying, Montblanc gives you entry level experience for a good price point, especially if you can find it at discounters, but they deliver good fragrances nevertheless. So this one here is going to open up quite aromatic. There is a lavender, there's a green undertone. You know, companies are doing that more and more of that woody, spicy green and blue kind of a combo. This one has a patchouli for sure. It's rather a woody, spicy, smoky kind of a scent. I get patchouli and vetiver here, definitely present, smoky, earthy, slightly sweet, slightly powdery, quite nice. It's giving me vibes of Creed Aventus. Well, it's like a fusion between Creed Aventus, Absolute with the Dior Elixir from Sauvage. So definitely a fusion between the two. I don't think performance is going to be as beastly as those two fragrances. I think it's going to be good in performance, but not great. I think it's going to be decent. I'd say average, maybe here, 8 hours we're talking, because, you know, Dior Elixir and Creative Ventus Absolute are both 12+ hour fragrances. If you spray your clothes, it'll be there for days. This one here has potential. From the tester strip, it's starting to take over the room here. But again, it's been there, done that. It's very dupey. Sad to say and sad to report that Mont Blanc is really harping into that. Hey, let me take a, you know, a very prevalent, trendy, and expensive profile and give you guys a more affordable version of those fragrances. But the creativeness here is definitely not there. They're taking stuff that's popular and, you know, making dupes of those fragrances. So, you know, it's gonna get a pass from me. If you're in a budget, here's the thing, hear me out. If you're in a budget, you can't get Creative Ventus Absolute, which is ridiculously expensive. If you can't get, there's a place for everything, of course. It all depends on, you know, your budget and, you know, if you're comfortable paying what you're paying. And of course, if you can't get Elixir from Dior, which is also, I think, $200 plus, this one here is probably gonna fall in the $100 plus range, but when it gets to discounters, you might be able to pick this up for even less than $100. So for what you're getting here, it is a quality kind of a scent. It smells really good, especially if you're a fan of Ventus Absolute, if you're a fan of Dior Elixir, Sauvage Elixir, you're going to really enjoy this one. If you can pick it up for a really good price, why not? No one's gonna know you're wearing this unless you tell them, and it has the same scent profile. So we'll just leave it at that. It's your discretion, you know, but it does smell good, but it is, you know, a dupe or an inspired expression, however you want to call it, of the fragrances I just talked about. So for that, you know, not very impressive for me, but it is quite good. Now, before I hop into the last one here, which is going to be the brand new Acqua di Gio Profondo Eau de Toilette 2025, let me tell you that you can get all the fragrances that I talked about here in this video, all 6 of them, and of course, even some of the other ones, the older ones, the discontinued ones, you can check them out at Parfum.com, the partner of this channel. Get yourself a decant, live with the fragrance, love it before you do love it. Don't blind buy. I always say, guys, try before you buy. This is the best place to do it. Parfum.com, use my code MAX15. Try as many as you want. The more you try, the more you save. All details below. There's also a section for deals where you can find even further discounts, liquidation, clearance, and you can add my code on top of it. Unless it's a liquidation, everything else you can add my MAX15 to get even more discounts. It's the place to go, guys. If you want an incredible wide range with thousands of fragrances to choose from. I think probably like 4,000 to 5,000 fragrances at this point. Anything and everything from indie designer to niche, you can try at Parfum.com. Use my code. The more you try, the more you save. And you can try brand new fragrances just like these without breaking the bank. And once you know you love the fragrance, then you go ahead and pick up a bottle from your favorite discounter. Guys, let's talk about Acqua di Gio Profondo EDT 2025 release. Of course, in 2020, Alberto Morillas, the Acqua di Gio master, gave us Profondo 2020, and since that we've had so many different flankers, you know, Profondo Lights, Profondo this, Profondo that. You know, of course, the original Profondo is quite good, amazing for spring and summer if you do like the ozonic, aquatic, aromatic type scent. It's very marine. You're gonna love that. And of course, today we're talking about the 2025 Eau de Toilette, because the 2020 was actually an Eau de Parfum, and this one is an Eau de Toilette 2025 release. We're gonna actually check this out here on camera, and I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts on this one. Now, looking at the bottles, right, side by side, they are quite similar, but not quite, because this one here is a lot lighter, and it goes gradient from darker to light, where you can see the juice. This one here is kind of hard to see, but you can see the juice. But this one here, you can see the juice right away. It is a frosted bottle. The cap is essentially the same thing, plastic, non-magnetic. And we're gonna take this for a test drive, guys. I actually picked this up from overseas. I think it's starting to pop up on stores here in America at this point. Amazing blast, as you can expect with Acqua di Gio fragrances. And okay, this one here, it's very citrus, very fruity and aromatic, and it's got that marine note, that sea breeze vibe in the back, but I do get a very prominent mandarin, tangerine orange kind of a scent profile here. In fact, let me spray the 2020 version just so I can do a quick comparison here. Okay, so essentially the opening is quite similar. If you spray this on a tester strip and you give it to people, you know, blindfolded, they think it's the same fragrance, although with the Eau de Toilette, it's definitely fresher. I'm getting like a geranium / minty note here that I don't really get with the 2020 version. So I'd say fresher, a little cleaner, but definitely aromatic, ozonic, aquatic, very in line with the scent profile and genre and family. So I'd say redundant. If you have the original Profondo or any other Profondo, this one here will be quite redundant because it's the same kind of a scent profile. I think that the differences here are going to be negligible or quite minute. You have to really experience the fragrance on the skin to make sure, you know, and again, it gets really like nitpicking and kind of like pointless. I still like the original one, to be honest with you guys. It gets a little bit redundant and it gets crazy to own these flankers over and over again. If you already have one and you like it, wear that one. You know, I still like the 2020 better than all the other flankers, to be honest with you. This one here, lighter, cleaner, sweeter, and definitely brighter as another Toilette. But I think the original one already gave me what I wanted. So, you know, if you already have the original, don't worry about this one unless you collect and you want to have them all. But to be honest with you, very minute differences here, very negligible, unless you really nitpick them side by side to really say, oh, this one gives me a little bit of that or a little more of this. It's more of the same, guys. So definitely a pass if you already have the original. That's my opinion, guys. Those are the 6 fragrances I shared with you today. Let me know in the comments which one's your favorite. I think overall, all things considered, my favorites were actually the Drakkar Bleu and the Silver L1212 from Lacoste. I think these were my favorites from this haul. In fact, I'm gonna rock the Drakkar Bleu today. I think it's a perfect day for this kind of a scent. Absolutely incredible opening here. Sweet, fruity, minty, aromatic, amazing. So guys, those are my thoughts. Those are the 6 fragrances I covered here on the channel today. Let me know if you guys have tried any of these. What are your thoughts on them? Which one is the most, you know, interesting to you from this haul? And of course, share your comments below. Let's talk in the comment section. And as always, guys, thank you so much for your support. If you do enjoy the channel, leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell so you get these videos straight into your feed. And I'll see you right here with another video, top video, haul video, whatever the case may be, sharing my thoughts and love for fragrance in the next one. Guys, thank you so much. Smell great this summer, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.